All right, there, folks. Hope everybody's doing well wherever you are. I am starting this episode off with what should be stuff you would know if you had seen the battle, but you couldn't see the battle because I doubled up on the audio input, and so it had a sweet, sweet echo that it even annoyed me. So I was like, all right, well, we can't do the video, but I can start you with some campaign stuff, and yeah, we went on the attack here. It was not particularly close going in, but it was one of those where the AI's auto-resolve probably would have caused me to lose it, and then I have to load back in anyways and do it all over again. So that's fine to me. I've talked about this in a few videos. Like, the economy I have is just it's long. It's not really contraction. Maybe very slightly, but it's long run stagnation. So finances here, and it's like, what's going on? I mean, $110 million deficit, honestly, is not bad. We got an A credit rating, interest rate of 2.7%. For all the interest for the $710 million, really, you got to look at what is it costing you to have that debt. As long as your credit rating is good enough to still buy stuff, it's only costing us $20 million in total expenses out of almost 400. It's about, 5% of overall expenses. So the debt's not too bad. And where is it? It's no longer an army upkeep. It's in supply depots. This has taken me a really long time to say, but what I'm going to try to do... Whoa. Are we really getting their coal? Is to burn these supply depots. We're going to abandon them. And the reason is, they're not supply depots I built. Yeah. They're ones that I capture. But when I capture them from the Union, I believe what's happening is that, well, I have to stock them, because I think they take some of the stuff with them, and I take some of theirs. And then when I kind of leave the area later, and they come back in and launch one of their so-called offensives, it's money that I end up losing because it was stocked with my wares. And so I'm wondering if the supply depots that keep changing hands in the border areas, pretty much right along, I believe this is the Ohio River, right, as we're going. I don't know what happened. I didn't get to fight that? That is depressing. I wanted to fight that battle. I thought it was going to be massive. Well, it was pretty massive, wasn't it? I mean, if it was 4 armies engaged on both sides, casualties were, appallingly even and relatively low. So, that's that. But, all right, we have an army that's out of supply. Of course, it's one of ours in our territory. We're going to move them back here. I'm going to abandon that one. Come on. Yes, I do. Yes, I do. There we go. All right, we're burning it down. And so I'll see if that matters, because if I'm just bleeding like $100 million a year in restocking supply depots that don't do me any good, that's $100 million annually I could spend to subsidize other things that actually matter. So that's that. But like, these supply depots, I don't want these. I don't need those. I'm not going to go forward, and I don't want to also have to pay to restock them. So I don't know what we're going to get from them. Probably not much. Honestly, I'm more interested in avoiding the cost than I am in getting, whatever goodies they got inside of there. This one, honestly, even this one, I'm thinking of abandoning and just relying on the one in Covington. The one around Grafton definitely makes sense to keep, as it, it's one of the few things that I think can reinforce Wheeling. I'm thinking about making a play for Pittsburgh, but that goes against everything I just said I was trying not to do, so I guess I won't. But you see a little bit of a build-up here. Northeastern Virginia's got 20,000. Oh, no, I was seeing things. The visual hallucinations are kicking in again. So that was one thing I was going to work on. Man, the morale of my army is just plummeted again. I mean, it's not as bad as theirs, but it had been 69, 68, 70 before. It might have even been lower than that. Before I did a whole bunch of reforms that brought in better commanders, better defined as more famous and generally better leadership. Just promoted them up, usually from the brigade or the division level up to army command or basically corps command and division command. Sometimes just brigade command if they weren't doing anything else. All right, we have to go back and deal. I think this army of Iowa is not much of an army. I'm gonna abandon that. I'm gonna abandon that. Yeah. And abandon that. And if I controlled that, I would try to burn it, but I don't. So here, we gotta actually move. I guess we gotta move all the way in here to actually capture Cairo. And then we'll burn the supply depot there as well. But I wouldn't expect anything. Yeah, I wouldn't expect anything yet. But I'm thinking that long term might help. But you know, that battle was kind of another good example like why I wish navies mattered. I mean, this fleet here. I mean, it's only got 23 guns. I get it, but they definitely would have been close enough to add some support. Oh, whoops. Yeah, sure. Take the circuitous path. We'll see how that goes. So that's that. Economy alarms. I mean, flour production is really low. Gunpowder production, I'm not worried about. Iron production, it's a little low, right? Like leather production, machine parts, flour, and I guess food is really low. But nobody is, as far as I know, starving. Right? It's not like the armies in the field aren't getting the provisions they need. As I know, go check to verify the thing I just said, but I'm pretty sure that they weren't starving before. And we're still working on those farms coming up. I don't see project policies. There's still really nothing here that calls to me. As much as I like the I don't know if I'm okay with the projects. I think it certainly has come a long way in terms of presenting, right, how policies and projects and subsidies all work. But I think it's a little odd the way it is. Policies, projects, subsidies, and all the rest. It's a little odd because, and I'm not the only one to have said this, and I'm not the first person to have said this, but I have said it several times. There comes a point in campaign where I don't need any more policies and act like that, or I can't get them, or the campaign doesn't last long enough. But that's a different problem. But you know, I don't need these things, and since the pluses don't really matter to me at this point, and the minuses are just unnecessary hits that I would take, there's really no point in doing it. So I think I would hope in a perfect world we would just rethink how policies, subsidies, and all the other stuff work, and just make it straight cash for a lot of the projects. And if on policies, acts, and even on some projects you want to, add other pluses and minuses, and I think, one way to do it is to do things in terms of state support, particularly on the politics side. I mean, when you're doing, I'm trying to think if I actually want this here. I don't think I do. But I mean, these subsidies don't make, it doesn't make a whole lot of sense when you think about it. And why these things, like the projects themselves are fine, but why they're linked to specific subsidies, I understand that there's kind of a theme that ties them together, but conceptually, like, what is this supposed to be modeling? Neither legislature was like, well, I think we're going to subsidize agriculture. We'll put the money aside now, and we'll figure out what we're going to do with it later. It's not, doesn't make a whole lot of sense. And then on the policies stuff, I think a way that they could be made to work or work better long term is to remove some of the downsides. And if you have to nerf both the upside and the downside to make them worth taking, like at least make it worth taking. But allow people to do more than 9 policies. And I think like paying for more policies isn't the way to do it. I think because the money really actually doesn't matter. To go from 9 to 12, the extra whatever it would be, I don't know, $5-6 million a year is nothing. But if you maybe pay state support for all my policies, and state support only slowly came back over time, which is the way it does, but it has some sort of like refresh rate. And if you want to spend more state support to get policies done faster and acts faster, I think that would be a much more compelling way to model the politics, right? If you're pushing for a lot of policies, I mean, yeah, the war effort definitely, can strain the support of states, but, so can the politics stuff. So that would be more compelling to me, and then have I'm going to go up to Frederick and burn that supply depot. I have a feeling I've lost that one multiple times. And then maybe with the starting policies, have some symmetrical, let me see if I get this right. No, have some asymmetric symmetry. Because right now, the starting policies available to both sides are kind of even. Or they kind of mirror each other, right? They're much more similar than they are different. And I understand that maybe the reason the developers want to do that is because, they don't want to, kind of shoehorn anybody into a particular style of playing, but I don't know. All right, so there are 2,000, so 18,000 of them, 13,000 of us. They have 138 guns. I don't actually know where this is taking place. Florida State Militia. Let me find you. It's over... No? Florida State Militia. I don't want to know where this is taking place. I could just hit play and find out there, but... No, it is right... Okay, it's right here. No. I don't like it. We got a lot more troops that we can throw against that army. I don't know how far Longstreet's gonna have to fall back, but maybe just to there. All right. But I am gonna make a push to retake Evansville and then burn the supply depot there. This one I'm more interested in doing. 16,000 of us versus 20,000 of them. And the Army of Northeastern Virginia. So did we did not get reinforcements? I guess the Army of the Northwest did not come up. But all right. Let's see what this is. But yeah, anyways, I know like other things have to be done with the game. The battle AI, at least the AI on the attack is usually more interesting than the AI on defense. And so maybe if the AI even thinks of defense as just a series of mini attacks, it would improve. The battle you did not see was just another miserable defense. But the AI, campaign AI has to get better. And again, I don't know how easy any of it is, and I'm not saying that it is easy, but it's just like bonehead things that don't make any sense ever that end up getting done. So for example, I I think I showed this on a previous video. Like 1 month, the economic intelligence report came back that the AI had started the construction of 200 new ships. And I'm like, for what? And you wonder why you're in an economic crisis. Uh, I don't know. I don't feel like I am wondering it really that much. But all right, we got a long way to trek up here. And we'll see where they're holding. But let's go ahead and get started. Hopefully we're not in the water and it doesn't screw us up or anything like that. But oh well. Colonel John Adams Cavalry. Yeah, he was one of the many gems I found. I don't know. I kind of rather come up to Nicodemus Hill, and it kind of could work like that. Oops, I thought that was the whole brigade. I thought it was Sturt's cavalry. I was like, why? Why are they showing me Adams? But all right, we'll send them up. Get them on the road. Okay. Infantry. Let me make sure the cavalry actually gets out. Sometimes the infantry takes precedence when they meet on the road kind of simultaneously. And all right, you go away. We'll have them move up as well. We're going to start Johnston matriculating himself up the field here. Chris Berman reference for all you following along at home. Yeah, because I don't actually know where they are yet. We'll do that. And we'll play it through. Whoa, I did not know they were going to take that route there. Okay, so I wasn't trying to do that, but I guess my Cav scouts just got a peek over the hill and we found them. So, they are sitting on that point. They're sitting on Pry Ford. All right. Are you kidding me? Did you really get... Are you kidding me? What is this, the amphibious whatever? Well, you know, I don't know that I'm going to get that artillery back, but what I want to do with you all is just hold up. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to send Stuart's cavalry down here. I'm going to send Johnston, start moving over there. I want this infantry to stop. I need Bonham really to like move. It's one of the other things I'd like to. One of the many things I'd like to see is the commanders not lag at the back all the time on these really long movements. All right, and we're gonna have them form up right about there. And Huger's artillery is going to halt. Huger, you should start moving up. And my thought is to get the cavalry out in their loose formation. I could even be a little cheeky and put some cavalry on this other bridge, but I don't love the idea of dividing my forces. But in this case, I actually might like it, and then send one up each side, and force them to turn like this, and then have the infantry laid out maybe in the sunken road, and so they'll have to turn in and kind of end up fighting me piecemeal in order to deal with the flank. This is of course all the theory, right? But that would be how I would approach this. The artillery, I don't know what to do with it. Maybe set it up here and see if they can lob some shells over that hill. But I don't know. All right, get you all arrayed out there. Looks like all our artillery got their stop order, so no, we'll give them. I think we'll give them this as an initial destination. Just see how that works. But yeah, I was thinking on the campaign map that the policies, the finances, I think the devs have really gone kind of all in on that model, and it seems like once they've kind of committed, they're not going to turn back. But it's really wonky, and the way it's currently balanced. I mean, you could balance what you have to change some of the things, but there aren't really compelling incentives to do a whole lot of the stuff. And it's the same with the policy or the projects. It's not really clear why you would even do subsidies in a whole bunch of those branches if a lot of the projects in there aren't something you want. Again, any long-suffering viewer of the channel knows I have nothing to do at all with diplomacy, because even if you went all in, it seems to deliver very little for the amount that you're going to invest. Let's see what kind of weapons we actually have. Merrills and Jocelyn's. All right. I don't want to lose anybody, but the Merrill Zane is good, so I think that they might end up in more trouble than their colleagues with the Jocelyn. So we're gonna keep the Merrills on the side with the rest of our force. But I think detaching, just getting rid of the whole idea of subsidies in these different areas, civil, military, agriculture, and all that other stuff, and just having policies and acts, and honestly, detach them from chapters. Like, you can still have, first of all, the chapter videos don't necessarily make a lot of sense if they don't reflect what's going on in the campaign. And so, even if you want to keep the videos, it's a lot of nice stuff from Lionheart Films there, but I don't know. Because I'm not going to invest in diplomacy. I'm not going to invest. Honestly, after I get kind of what I want for agriculture, I don't see the reason for a lot of those subsidies. Military ones, because my army costs have come down so much, my upkeep costs have come down so much. And I have Parrot rifles. I have, for the artillery, I have legacy rifles. For the infantry, I have medium range carbines. For the cavalry, oops. I'm a happy camper with all those. I have no incentive to invest beyond that. And so all those other things that are tied to the military subsidies, it's kind of like, why? I mean, you might want to do the army reorganization. I haven't done it. And I just keep the so-called armies that are basically the size of corps, keep them close together, and they usually end up supporting each other, and it's not a problem. But industry, meanwhile, industry is like the one area where it requires so much in the way of subsidies that, yeah, a lot of people who want those things are going to go all in for it. But some of the stuff, even linked to industry, like the railroads, they take so long to complete. Even if you invested in the things that make railroad construction faster, it's going to take so long to do. Though, assuming that the game gets to the point where the campaign and battle AI are good enough to run a campaign you're trying to win that long, like, the railroads are going to come in at the tail end, and or maybe not come in at all. And so I think that's more of a balance issue, that they just got to bring the cost down enough to incentivize the player. And the other way to do it is to create crises and problems in the game that basically just rework the finances so that you have to do some of these things. I don't love that idea for other reasons. It seems like oh dear, you guys are moving like that. Yeah, we really are attacking without artillery, but that's kind of What was that? Oh, okay, they are all there. I thought there was one battery that had 194 guns or something. I was like, I don't think that's right. You know what? We can actually keep this formation for now. But I want to do that. Cavalry is out a bit further than I'd like, but I moved him there, so it's entirely my fault. The AI, which can see me, is just standing there. Now they did. Looks like it's paused, but it is not. It is on 1 time speed. Move it up to 2 times speed just to see if anything changes. But anyways, I'd like to say that I'm done with that rant there on kind of the architecture of the AI, or the architecture of the campaign. It's not the AI, although that is part of the issue. It's come a long way, baby, but if there's really only a couple things you need to do to winning these campaigns, then I think a lot of the projects and policies and acts are just going to be ignored. We'll see. Maybe not, but I think it will. All right, where is my infantry at? We are just absolutely crawling today, but we had a long way to march, so there's that. All right, I'm going to push. Man, Adams is 4 stars? Holy moly. His unit's oh, and I switched their order. Oh, wait, what? What is going on here? Okay, that makes sense. He's 4 stars. I believe the unit, yes, 3. So we'll let them engage with the other cavalry first. Where is Johnston? All right, Johnston's in a better spot here. Let's push Stort up. Just keep everybody in bugle range. I have no idea how you guys managed to do that, unless it was something weird with the initial deployment. So that's 1 battery, 2 battery. Maybe Huger only has 3. Let's see, and somebody is still stuck in that weird old formation. I don't know if that's going to help, but there it is. All right, so the Merrills are going to try to go up and pin them in place a little bit. They say they're in spread formation, but they do not look like it. We don't want to go into the water. Bad things happen when we go into the water. All right, we're zooming through the fields here. So now that I'm on their flank, they're now kind of reforming to meet it. They're falling back. All right. We're going to still push them up to try to engage. I'm going to try to push. I'm going to give them the order to move past. I don't think it's going to work, but we're going to try it. And unfortunately, I was not able to lure them in to attacking Adams's cavalry, but maybe later. Okay, they're moving over there. Why don't we get them mounted up? Stay there. Move with them. All right, this infantry. We're gonna move up. Looks like there's a little bit of a ridge down here we can get below. Okay, they're gonna try to move over to there. They're gonna move up. My thinking now is to press the Union right, it's the CSA left, and use these two cav brigades as kind of tar pits, maybe hanging out around Pry Ford, and threatening to push if these brigades try to come to the aid of these. But I see the artillery sitting out here on a bit of an island. I know my own artillery is not, it's just not going to get here. So there's that. Huger should still try to move up to salvage whatever he can, and can order the artillery up to here, but it, like I said, I would really doubt that it's ever going to get there in time for it to matter. Alright, cav over here is still mounted. We don't need that anymore. But we'll have them starting to begin moving up and test the waters a little bit. I want to see if we're exhausted or anything like that with these units. Holy moly. I mean, the commander is meh, but the brigade is lights out. Same as, oh, Donaldson and his brigade. And they're Springfield rifled muskets. Yes, yes. Alright. Well rested, excellent training, all that stuff. The worst is Archer. Well, I mean, just in terms of training, but even then, they're good. 3-star brigade, 4-star commander. What on earth? Oh, it's a broken cav unit? I don't know. Okay. If I haven't said it on recent videos, I'll say it again now. I think one of the really good uses of cav is pretty good defense, pretty good defensive units, especially when they are dismounted, loose formation, and if you put them prone in some cover, they are hard to hit. And so the enemy can try to win the range off, because they're not going to outrange the other side. We can be pretty sure of that. But because they're in loose formation, they take up a measurably longer front than when they are compact. They're hard to hit, especially if you do all those things. Take them off their horses, spread them out, put them down, put them in cover, all that other stuff. And remember, if they have a little bit of time, they can construct breastworks just like regular infantry, which if cover's not otherwise available, they can make it available. All right, we'll reform that line. And I think that the combination of an extended front for a relatively small number of men, hard to hit, and then lethal if the other side gets tired of trying to pick them off at range and comes in close, then they got to deal with the high rate of fire that the cavalry have. And if you manage them well, you don't get encircled and all that other stuff that's, you know, supposed to go right for you. Then you can give ground if you have to as cavalry. Pull them out if it gets a little too hairy. Here, you know what? I think we're just gonna order ourselves up like that. Try to route that artillery off. Apparently we somehow got that one cav brigade. It might have been an understrength brigade that just took some casualties for whatever reason. Okay, we're gonna make sure that Lee is at least close with the cav, and at this point particularly the infantry, because the cav are just here to threaten. If they try to reinforce this side, and as you see they're starting to do with some of them, then we'll move up and start shooting them in the flank. And did we just route that? If we routed that unit, yeah, so we'll use that opportunity. It's a free opportunity to now move up. And with all these guys, what I was going to do and would like to do is to kick out some skirmishers in front. Skirmishers don't... I'm not able to get them to move relative to the brigade, like kick them out and then move the brigade and the skirmishers move with them. That's what I'd like to do, but I can't. I have to try to micro them, and they don't quite micro right. At least that's what I've found. All right, but they're trying to tar pit there in the center. And then this infantry wants to come up and just do that artillery dirty. And with that brigade, actually what we're going to have it do is come up like that. And then this brigade, yeah, is going to continue to do that. We're moving along here. It's not bad. Yeah, not that it really matters, but we're going to try to get Huger up there. Yeah. Oh, I was going to say, hopefully Donaldson's not getting shredded by canister at these distances. I don't know. So they are lined up almost an echelon here. So I don't know how well they're going to be able to fire. What I want to do now with Raines's brigade is just have them get prone. We don't need them to move up any further. Right? Everybody else behind them is going to kind of do that. We're going to rely on Donaldson and what's the other? It's supposed to be Archer's brigade to really come around the side here. We're going to square up, and then we're going to get down. We're just going to play the waiting game over there. All right, they got some flanking fire, and they haven't taken many casualties down there. Yeah, well, we're getting a little bunched up on ourselves, but that happens. Clump of trees, it is throwing me off though. Okay. So those brigades are up there. Alright, they're pouring it in from the side. That's good. Looks like we're about to wipe that battery over there. I wonder if time of day is going to be our undoing here. Alright, I'm going to put these guys down. Not rate of casualties is not all that terrible, but they don't have... Yeah, they have Merrills, and well, I guess I don't really need to worry about them running out of ammo. That doesn't look like it's likely to happen now. Alright, so these guys have knocked off both of those batteries, and now we're going to push Donaldson's brigade up and around. Archer's brigade is kind of supposed to take the inside track as well. We're going to have Brian get up real close and personal, try to take some of the heat off of these two brigades, but they're at the crest of the hill, and so yeah, we're taking some casualties, but it looks like it's all right at this point. Any of our artillery almost there? No, they're probably exhausted. Oh, that battalion does have 194 men in it. I don't know why they're moving slow. Well, they're not horse artillery. I guess that's probably why. Oh, that's not good. We need to move, man. We're ahead, but I know. It's good, not great. I mean, what these brigades are doing back here, I mean, they look like they're shooting at my cav who are in loose formation in the embankment. What those brigades are doing, I don't know. They kind of look like they're doing a reload animation, but I don't know at what. I'm not sure who's back here. I thought it was yeah, it is artillery, so that actually does make sense, but you gotta use what you got, and by not using these brigades particularly, I mean, that artillery position, it's fine, right? But bringing them right up to the crest of the bank and shooting into the flank of my cav would create a very bad time for me. So I guess they just went in for a melee? Is that... They did. Alright. I didn't think that they would do that. But now that they have, should be able to stand up. So, alright. And we'll advance that way. Yeah. So it's another one of those situations where, you know, like you're outnumbered, but you're not actually, you know, a lot of the fights don't feel outnumbered because the AI leaves so much stuff unengaged that, you know, the actual fighting always seems like you have the numbers advantage because you do. Alright, push up, push up. Oh, that was interesting. I mean, they were thinking about swooping in here on Donaldson. It's a neat idea. Alright, we'll move Archer out to protect his flank. I mean, it actually was and is like a decent idea. You can see Donaldson's getting a little shredded there because whatever. But I think that's where the AI does better, and I think it will do better on the attack than when it tries to defend. So even if it's like on the battlefield supposed to be defending, I think if it is able to be treated as a series of attacks, I think it'll do a lot better. Alright. Of course, for Buford's count, yeah. Alright. No, we don't need to lay down. Want to engage those guys if they're going to sit on horses and look at us. And I don't think we need to pursue. I'm not looking to run up the casualties or anything like that. One thing I can do is go try to collect some artillery. Oop, they just came in. Looks like they were coming in for a charge and then decided against it. Okay, Stuart, move up there. Yeah, I think Donaldson probably got more than his payback against that cavalry. All right. Archer's brigade earned a star. Good for them. And yeah, let's just run this out here and see how it ended. I know my casualties were pretty heavy. I don't know about theirs. Yeah, theirs were pretty heavy. What is that? Almost 7-to-1 casualties while I was attacking. Somehow I managed to lose 11 of my guns. They were probably all dumped in the river, but I don't actually think I started with 61 guns. I thought I had like 35. So I don't know. We lost 712. They lost 4,800. It's a minor victory. All right. All right. So we're here. Let's see. Can we actually get... I don't know if they ever got their supplies. Looks like they got the supplies they needed. Oh, yeah. They creep on up here and get in there. Hampton Division. Yeah, I'm cool with that. Army of Tennessee can pull back a little. Only because I'm a little concerned that if I'm not paying attention, something I don't want to happen is going to happen. And it's how a lot of the poor battles go. I didn't see it coming and whack. The Army of Tennessee, yeah, it's 6,000, not 60,000, so. Don't know what our supply situation is, but what is this army down here? What is it doing? Alright, New Orleans Squadron, get over here and figure out what this army of the border is doing. Kind of just randomly camping. I don't even know what it's doing. I don't know if it's treading water, living in the ford. I don't know. Alright, I do want to retake Quincy, Illinois up here because the influence extends into Missouri. I don't know what my support is. 56%? That seems low. Kentucky, 76%. That's pretty normal. I guess Missouri was like around 50%, I think, earlier in this campaign. My credit rating is back up to A, but that might just be because it does weird things when it comes out of auto-resolves, so that doesn't mean too much. So somehow this army is just like chilling here. I don't know. So they got 12,000, I got 17,000. I don't really feel like fighting this, but, you know, if the AI screws it up, then we'll come back and fight it. I'm always happy to get out there if I have to. Alright, retaking Frederick as part of our buffer. I mean, the campaign could end if I waltzed into Washington, but why? Alright, we're gonna go and get the Army of the Potomac to try to take Evansville. We'll send the fleet up in advance. Victory at Clarksburg. Alright. Oh, we're back here. I gotta do this again. Army of the Tennessee. That's fine. Alright. You, we're gonna send over there. You, I don't know what to do with you. We're gonna send you up the river. Send you up the river. Maybe, I don't know, maybe the Western Army will just sit in Cairo. I don't love spending a lot of time on enemy territory because I think it just makes things more expensive. 22,000, 4,300. Yeah, the Army of the Potomac could use some reinforcements. Absolutely. And you know what? Yeah. I mean, if this Western Army were able to hold up here, it's a lot easier to make the St. Louis line over to Evansville. This is why I want my navies to be able to hop in here and help. Okay, we gotta see. I don't. No, this is not. This doesn't help me. So let's get rid of that. And honestly, I kind of remember why this is here because there's sometimes a supply dead zone, but I feel like this just helps the Union more than it helps me. And so I don't really see the point. Yeah, go ahead. Burn it. There we go. Even the one in Marietta? No. Well, I guess I don't have a choice. I guess it's gonna get rebuilt. Okay. Department of Pennsylvania is somehow hanging out here. So we'll kindly ask them to leave. Yes, we'll have Hampton's Division Shadow. I don't know where they're going, so we'll just go there and back. And we'll pull back into actual home territory. Return the buffer state to buffer state status. I have thought about, what is this? Why? Looks like it's a more serious warning than usual. Oh, probably because it's 100% blockaded. Uh-huh. Well, maybe at some point we'll invest in a navy to deal with it, but at this point, no. Don't really seem worth it. The subsidies, by the way, that the projects that I have been putting, I think it was diplomacy. Apparently, we're not going to be able to find out now, but there is one in here that I thought I did at least one level of it, but it was blockade running. And trade warfare, is that it? You told us to increase the effectiveness of blockades and blockade running. Yeah, sure. I mean, we'll do it. I don't think it's really going to matter that much, but sure, why not? But again, once your armies are up, like you don't need weapons production. I don't think you need weapons production most of the time. You just need standardization, right? And you do that through your orders. Military railroad. Yeah, I mean it's if you have the railroads, it's great, but if they're not where you need them, then because they're frequently absent in the CSA, you're not going to get too many opportunities to use that advantage. So there are a lot of projects and policies to me that are just dead projects and policies that you don't need. All right, we retook Evansville, so now we'll skedaddle and we'll burn the supply depot. Yes, I'm sure. All right. All right, these two, I don't know how big the Army of Iowa is. It's not big. I could probably do this with just one force, but yeah, let's try that. I don't know how that army is still there. 19,000. 150 guns. Holy moly. Can I engage them? Let's see. South Carolina State Militia should pull back. Yeah. I don't think they're in the water, so I don't think they're going to be able to dislodge them. Alrighty. Now what? 13,000 of me versus 8,900 of them. This is another one of those that, like, I can see the AI messing this up. I can see it. But if we can avoid it, we'll avoid it. Depending on how long it goes, maybe we'll do that. It's fine. They could use the march. And over here, what are we doing? Let's get in there, McCullough. You're one of those that survived the purge. So prove me right. Glorious. Glorious. Okay, good. Well, I think the Missouri State Guard being there will still capture the city faster, so I guess I could defend it on those grounds. Over here, I don't know. I cannot engage this army for whatever reason. It's very odd. I could probably actually use a supply depot right about here so that I could keep a force here. Probably might reach into here. It would be nice if you could see like who's supplied and who isn't, but I don't know what happened to their national morale. I mean, I know it's been going down, but it was 35 before, and I don't think I've done anything new. A couple easy auto-resolve victories that were not by any means the crushing defeats they've had before, so that's about. Finances, well, it's hard to know, whether it's one thing or another, but the costs did go down here, and it's only been less than a month in game from an annualized cost of 165, 180 million, whatever that was, to 138 million. Again, that could just be the random up and down movements that you get in these games, so I wouldn't say that it proves anything, but it seems to suggest that maybe burning those supply depots is a decent idea. I was due for one. Alright. They're there. South Carolina, still not close enough to a supply depot. Alright, we'll move back. I'm pretty sure they are over here. So that's fine. You know what? If the campaign just ends, I'm kind of okay with it. Alright, I'll move them over there. I'm assuming they got some supplies. Yeah. This is another one of those that it's like, we should win, but you never know. This game really does not like Lee. I think they've downgraded him now from 1 to 2 star, and I actually promoted him up to general. And he just won that battle at on the Antietam battlefield a little while ago, so the game doesn't care. Flanked, suffering 18 casualties. Okay. A little bit of a mismatch in strength here. I mean, Longstreet's numbers are getting up, but somehow Richard Anderson's up to almost 26,000. I have no idea how. And Longstreet's 13,000. I know that Longstreet was always missing a brigade or two, and I just left him that way. But seems like a lot. Okay, morale of my armies is up to 82, so that makes me feel better. What is this? 19,000. All right. Army of the Shenandoah has 16,000, so we'll try to get Hood here. I think Hood just gained a 4th star. Glorious victory at Louisville. That's right, I was fighting here. Oh, Lee got a star back, so he's up to 2. Alright. Hopefully McCullough's Western Army is getting some supply. They are. We'll see if Longstreet's going up or down. I think there are 2 supply depots over here, so I would think it's doing alright. Economy alerts. Yeah, the farms in Missouri and a bunch of other places aren't doing great. Iron production, though, is almost up to demand. Almost. Leather's still way under. That just is what it is. Machine parts, gunpowder production. It's like 3/4 of demand is met. Food production is also kind of getting there. And it seems like production is up. Demand is where it was last time I checked. Coffee is only imports, so I'm not that worried about it. And flour production, still way under, but somewhat to be expected. So I guess those farms that we had built, I think have finally finished, because I believe those were the farms that I had ordered built. We'll see what the economy alerts are, right? I mean, this one is so. Oh, all right. So the pre-goods are 443,000, and the stuff they sell is 417,000. So I get it. They're operating at a slight loss. Copper ore is particularly expensive. Iron ore 67. Now I don't know if those are the prices they're paying. Let's see. Copper ore. Well, that is the average price of copper ore. Iron ore 57. So basically 68 for copper and for iron. Oops, wrong tab. Yeah, so it's like it's a few dollars more for copper, and it's quite a bit more for iron. But I don't know what the solution is. I don't think there's too much iron at all produced in that area. All right, we'll bring. Anderson needs some supplies, so we'll try to get him back in there. All right, Longstreet's supply is going up, so that's what we wanted to see. Cullis Liz, I think I'm ready to call it a wrap on this video. We'll see what happens here on the campaign map, but maybe there's not that much left to it. I mean, think about it. With all that's happened, their national support's pretty high. The morale of their armies is higher than I would think, given that it's 67-2, and the casualties are like 3.5 to 1. So who knows? All right, folks. I hope you enjoyed it. Maybe we're in the end game and you think about what's next. But before we get there, we'll enjoy this.